Alright, here we go. Welcome to the Legacy Cup breakdown for Autumn 2021. I was super happy with how this event turned out, and I have the results and deck list here actually. Total deck representation was incredibly healthy. Personally, I'm happy to see that Bruce was only a one of and absolutely got overshadowed, and I'm also happy that Bastion did not completely run with the event. Same thing with Lorenaro. And super nice diversity across the board here. As for the top 8 breakdown, 2 Bastion, 2 Lorenaro, 2 Orfist, a Magnolia, and a Clarissa. This Magnolia list was super spicy. That was the list that I lost to in top 8. Game came down to him having 8 cards in deck or something like that, and then you have to check like the 1 of 2 crits that he had left. It was a super hype game. Everything was wild. Card for card too. For the winning deck list, here we have Clarissa. This looks like things that I've seen before, excluding this grade 2, which allows you to bounce cards that have your keyword, and he has one of the defensive order. I honestly thought he was going to play more of this, because considering, personally, I would be expecting a lot of Bastion because of its representation in other tournaments in the city, so I definitely would have kept this thing to have potential 1-card guards, or even against Bruce. I would expect to see those two, and this could definitely help. But this also is when put. It has the new text, so you could throw this down early if he wants to, and then just attack early. This is the restander for when your Vanguard hits, so if you go first turn 3, you can have this on a side to pressure additionally for a restand, so you can put good offensive pressure, maintain an early game, and then of course have your draws from Clarissa and play through defense triggers, because this also gains power. Another card to help you get your other pieces, especially your beater, which I saw him create like 30 something K lines really easily, which is incredible to see. And then he's playing a standard trigger lineup of 3 fronts, 1 over, 8 crit, and 4 heal. Just all different arts though, super nice though. And then we have the order here down 2 for your brawler skill. I expect to see people taking inspiration from this list, if not just straight net decking it, so I'm interested to see what happens. Here we have Vallejo's list. This was a list that he's been running for as long as I can remember. Alden's Fasados or Flukes, Dark Strains, 2 Witch, 1 Cocobel, 1 Refresals, and then 1 Prideful. This combo is definitely an MVP when your opponent's at 4 damage, or even 3 potentially, since you can use this to gain a crit, pressure them, and then if you swing additionally, you can have it get another crit, so you can have this swing in for 3 damage. But ideally you create this as a column turn 4 when you persona ride, so that you have the boost, you have the restand, and it swings in for a crit. Your Vanguard line will be pressuring them additionally for any crits, and if you check one, you can split it onto the side, and they'll have to guard 4 attacks, which is incredible. Outside of the deck's traditional strengths that it has, he opted for a very unique trigger lineup: 6 crit, 3 draw, 2 front, over and heals. I have seen other people do this, but most commonly people are just going for a straight offensive trigger lineup of 8 crit, usually 3 fronts, and then you're over in heals. But this list is super interesting. I've tried it myself and have seen success. Jose is also, I believe, has the exact same list, and I'm going to show that later. But overall, even though these are one-ofs, the draws are meant to help you fetch for these pieces too, which helps you draw as well, and overall very strong deck. It's incredible. This is the spicy Magnolia list that I fought in top 8. I didn't see this guy at all the entire tournament, and then he was just someone that was in a face. As far as I understand, this list is meant to draw using the Zorga ride line, going into Magnolia, and then he would use Coffin Shooter as a card to throw down early, just to rush. At any point, him using the orders, he would be able to pull off Magnolia skill consistently, use Wild Intelligence to build a board, have an offensive trigger lineup since this is his draw engine, and then he would just proceed to play cards from grave instead of trying to commit cards from hand to field. This to soul charge to help with coffin shooter cost and the initial soul blessing you have with this, and your tiger over here for you to gain additional power and stack. Genosla definitely was a MVP when I fought against it. Having this pump up for sidelines was incredibly impactful. And even when I attempted to damage deny him, he held onto this order so that he'd be able to gain the resources back, so he could still have access to Magnolia skill, which is just incredible. This list is really nice, and personally I want to try this if I end up borrowing someone's Magnolia list, or rather deck. This is Lorenaro. I believe this was piloted by Alphonsus, so shout out to him, man. I forget which is which, but I know that one of these allows you to play an additional order per turn, which is nice. This is very close to what I played, except I chose to not use this card. I chose to play two of it, and then have one of the grade 2 version and then one of the grade 3 version, which gets 2k for each order that you have. So that combined with this ends up creating a lot of magic numbers. I can understand why he's playing 3 copies of the defensive grade 2, because it's a 9k, it's a little bit awkward, and you do need to have other cards to help you create better numbers, whether you choose to push early or not. Because I know he was using this as a card to attack early with, have as a strong booster, and he opted for the summer order, which makes a lot of sense since you do lack a lot of early aggression, and that was definitely something that I was struggling with when I was playing the deck myself the day before the event. Because initially I was going to run in with Lorenaro, but other things came up, I didn't see success with it, and then I just chose to stick with Orfist. This is Jose's list. It is, I believe, the exact same thing as Vallejo's list. This is Jose P's list. This is an old picture, but the list was exactly the same as Vallejo's, and once again, the Prideful and the Refuerzos are very important, and overall just a strong list. My thoughts extend between the two of them. I fought against both of them a lot in tournaments, and they're both solid players. This is an old picture of mine. The list is exactly the same outside of this one Rudis. It was a 3rd copy of Eagle, but I have a video talking about this already, so I'm not going to dwell on it. This is once again an old picture of Nick's list. I believe he used this during the event, and the more I thought about it, the more I liked this as an idea, but I know that I wouldn't mesh with this card for what it does and how I would play the deck. Due to rearguard placements, this would need to stay behind the Vanguard, and this would put more of a clog in how I would play the deck, but overall solid list. A lot of my points, which I talk about in my video, do extend to this list, so once again you can refer back to that for more of a discussion and more insight for Orfist. Yep, that is the event as a whole. So thank you very much for watching. I'll be putting all the social media and stuff like that in the description. I will be putting Team Gradelock also in the description, along with links to both the VODs so that everything is accessible. Had a fantastic time at the event, and if I will get I should be getting the premium results as well, because after round 2 we decided to have a premium side event, so I'm gonna message Evan and get that information too. Got plenty of more content to show all you guys, so thank you very much for watching and have a good day.